Hi, welcome to Herons on the Fly. I'm Glenda, and today we're going to talk about mail, getting your mail when you're out on the road, if you're full-time or part-time. And the better question is, how does where I get my mail influence and affect so many other things? So we're going to talk about that today. So you're getting ready to go out on the road and you need to work out something for mail, because there are a lot of important things you get through the mail, even though most of your bills are probably paid online. So I looked up the federal law regarding if it's legal or illegal not to have a physical mailing address, and it is not required. You are not required to have a physical mailing address. Where the problem comes in is the U.S. federal banking regulations require that all bank accounts have real physical addresses. So if you sell your home and then you go to the bank to get a loan for an RV or a travel trailer or whatever, you probably won't get a loan because you don't have a physical address, because they have to be able to find you. So you can use family or friends' addresses, although you need to have proof of an address, which include things like utility bills, a driver's license, mail that has been sent to that address with your name on it, insurance cards, and there's a whole list of other ID items that you can use for banks. So the IRS, to file your federal income tax, you can file federal income taxes with a P.O. box number. But you'd have to check with on your specific states about filing state income tax. You also need to get voter registration. That requires an address. So you'd have to check with the local or state regulations on that, whatever state you're in. You also need to get your jury duty summons notices. So that's another state implemented thing that you'd have to check on each specific state about getting your jury duty summons, if that can go to a P.O. box number or if it has to be an address. The other items that you need to have mail for and mail delivery is vehicle registrations. You need to get that sticker for the vehicle, depending on how often your state requires renewal. Driver's license. There in the state of Texas, you're required to have a residential address to get a driver's license. Also, with the driver's license, each state may require a different type of driver's license depending on the vehicle you're driving. In the state of Texas, for example, it requires you to get a non-CDL Class B driver's license for a Class A RV that weighs over 26,000 pounds. So you have to check on regulations in each state on that. Your insurance, you may not think about this, but your insurance costs are determined by the area you live in, which is your mailing address. So, and it even affects your health insurance. We're on Medicare and we have a supplemental insurance policy. And in the state of Texas, it depends on where you live and what your address is and the cost to that supplemental insurance, as well as your vehicle insurance. You know, that changes depending on what your address is. If you live in a urban area, your insurance might be higher than if you live in a rural area or using a mailing address in those areas. How the state that your mailing address is in, or where you're getting your mail, impacts so many different things that you may not think about initially when you just think about, how am I going to get my mail? So another consideration is taxes. So are you going to be in a state that has state income tax? Do they have an inheritance tax? And the ease of getting your vehicles inspected. That makes a big thing. If you're bringing vehicles into a new state and you have to register them and buy new licenses, what are the costs of doing that? So the three most popular states to get a mailing service from are South Dakota, which is very easy to establish your residency there. It only requires a receipt from one night of camping or one night stay in a hotel room. You need to renew your driver's license every 5 years with them. There's no state income tax, and they allow a mail forwarding service as an address. Florida is another state that's very popular. There's no income tax, state income tax. They don't have any annual vehicle inspection requirements, and it also allows mailing forwarding services. And the third state is Texas. There is no state income tax, inheritance, or estate tax. You can register your vehicle and renew, well, you can do the renewal for your registration online. And if you're out of state when that inspection is due, you just note that in the application for renewal, and you're required to have the vehicle inspected within 3 days of when you return to the state. And they also allow mail forwarding services. So let's talk about the different mail forwarding services. There's a variety of them, and you can check out these services. Each one charges a different rate for different services, so I'm not going to get into how much they cost. So there's a service called Post Scan Mail, America's Mailbox, American Home Base. You can rent a P.O. box number at the post office, which is, you know, you'd have to go pick it up or have someone go in and pick it up and forward it to you. You can set up a box at a UPS store, and they're each locally owned. So you have to contact the location where you'd want to have that service set up. They can receive packages and mail for you, and then they can forward it to wherever you're at. So that's an option. You can have a friend or a relative pick up your mail or have your mail sent to their home. And the things you have to consider about that is, you know, your privacy. Is that going to be an issue? Can they forward things to you easily? Is it going to be, you know, a chore for them to get out and package up your mail and ship it off? Are you going to pay them for the service? And how are you going to reimburse them for the cost? So in the over 5 years that we've been full-time RVing, we've used RV escapees out of Texas. They'll also have services in South Dakota and Florida. We pay a membership fee every year, which currently in 2024 is $50 a year. And then we pay $130 a year for the mail service. And then we pay additional to have the mail sent to whatever location we're at. We set up an amount that once we go below that amount, they'll automatically charge us to renew those funds for mailing things to us. They have a lot of different services. You can have your mail scanned, and you can look at it on your phone, and other options are available, which cost more. They'll ship UPS, USPS, or FedEx. They'll notify us when we get jury duty summons so that we can contact the county office and let them know that we're with RV escapees, and they take us off the list. We have our prescription medications sent there, and I get a notice when they get a package so that we can have that forwarded to wherever we are. As long as the medication isn't refrigerated, they'll accept it. And then they have a lot of other things available through their services. They have a remote job site and information and listings. They do rallies every year and trips, and I believe they offer insurance and a multitude of other things. They also have a lamplighter reward for members. So if you decide to use their service, if you could put us in the referral box, we'd appreciate it, because we'll accumulate those and maybe get a little discount on our next year's membership fee. And I'll have a link down below for you on that. So I just wanted to try and get you thinking about all the things that where you get your mail, how that impacts everything. So things that you want to consider when you're thinking about services that you want to use are the number of items that you would have processed, scanned, or mailed to you, if they have a membership fee or a yearly fee, and what the mailing costs might be. How easy is it for you to get your mail sent or forwarded to you? If you're only out part-time of the year, is it worth it to sign up for a service? Can you turn it off when you get back and then turn it back on when you get back out? It just depends. Everyone has a unique situation. So you're going to have to go through this and kind of do some searching to see what service is going to work the best for you.
Stop.
Okay, so I didn't answer your question, how are you going to get your mail? But hopefully I gave you a bigger picture of what are the things we need to consider, what is going to work best for us. And all the information I gave you is accurate as of January 2024. So things change. So check out your state, check out your circumstances, and see if anything has changed, or specific things in the state you're going to have your mail sent to. I hope this helps. I hope it created some conversation, and make sure you cover all your bases before you sign up for something and that you might not realize how it will impact everything else. So thanks for watching. We appreciate you spending time with us. Like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate it. We are Herons on the Fly. See you next time.